Yes, everybody, Russell and the West Ham Network. Hope you're all safe and well. It's just this: Aston Villa 1, West Ham 1. Respect the point. Game two halves, as famous commentators would say. Yeah, definitely a game of two halves, I think. Let's go for some chat. Frosted Ted, not bad. Simple. Proud the lads kept fighting to the end. I mean, it was a really strange one, wasn't it? Really, when I looked at the game, it was like, they came out the block so fast, and we looked shell shocked right from the beginning, and we never really recovered for about a good 15, 20 minutes. Obviously, what's his name scored? What's his face? Jacob Ramsey, first goal since 2023, the September. But we never get. We always seem to be in the game. Do you know what I mean? Even with a very poor, bench as well, really, we kept in the game, which was really encouraging. Really encouraging to see. Game of two halves, says Gordon. Too right, mate. I don't think it was as bad. It was bad. I'm glad we did well. But what to Spurs indeed. Spurs can make sure we have a very fun Sunday. Ange's got to go, hasn't he? Surely Ange's got to go. Good result, considering how shit first half was, and also how bereft of players we were. I mean, unsurprisingly, we play a side which has got 6 midfielders in it, something like that, and unsurprisingly, we don't play we play quite narrow. But you could see what he was trying to do. The wing backs basically had to get, white paint on their heels. Literally, they were trying to we were trying to spread the play. But the trouble was there was no one up front. But I tell you, he had a bloody good game. Lucas Paqueta, fantastic game from Lucas. I thought he was man of the match and richly deserved. And he led the line well from that false nine. I thought he played really well. Unlucky, coulda, woulda, shoulda, maybe got something at the end. Obviously, it was a very tense. Yeah, last minute he only had one leg as well. We are currently 13th over Man U. That'll do. That'll do. I'll be embarrassed if I'm a Villa fan with the amount of diving going on. Pot will do right for us. See the team playing with him. Yeah, indeed. Bravo. That was piss poor example of refereeing the season. Where was VAR? Was that Alan? That wasn't it. That weren't enough. That weren't enough for that to go, mate. Sorry, geezer. Usually I'm all for you, but that wasn't enough to get that at all. Good bit of man management as well from Potter taking off. What's his name? Taking off Alvarez before he got sent off. Basically, let's see if I can bring up. I'll tell you what. I'll do that in a minute. I'll do the Lucas Paqueta. Things make closer sitting with 3 points. Good, well earned point. We was robbed. Were we robbed? I think a point was probably a fair result. I've got the stats. That's the stats from the game. We had 54% possession. We had 14 shots. Villa had 14 shots. Both had 4 shots on target. That's not 57,000 passes. That's about 372 passes to our 439 passes. We were offside a couple more times. Fouls, we fouled a bit more. Saves were pretty similar as well. So, it was, again, we come with a decent percentage, almost, 54% possession away to Villa Park. And they're no mugs, they haven't lost there since, I think the guy was saying, since August this year. So to come away with a point, I think it's a good point. It is a good point. No, let's take it off. There we go. Let's go with some more. There's loads of comments. Let's try and get through some more. We were at home. All you could hear was the West Ham fans. Indeed. We were lucky not to get a pen or two. Paqueta, outstanding today. Excellent and well-deserved draw. I think we could have won that. If it was another 10 minutes, I think we'd have got that. But then I think Lucas would have probably killed over. In all honesty, but I think I agree. I think we were on the ascendancy. Alvarez man of the match, yeah, but I was again slightly worried about his just his general decision making. Potter took a good decision to get rid of him, not get rid of him, to get him off at half time. Get him off just after he got his second yellow, or before he got his second yellow, because he was going to go any second then. So yeah, it's a tough one with him. You want the combative style, but at the end of the day, I wouldn't want a situation where we were down to 10 men. And so, as I said, I think Potter did the right thing taking him off. And it means he lives to fight another day, which is good. Obviously, we play Chelsea next Monday. We're bereft of attacking players, aren't we? Let's be honest. We're absolutely bereft of them. And we need some reinforcements. Obviously, we hopefully will welcome back Bowen, and Bowen and what's name? It's Cree, but yeah, it's not great. I'm hoping now Fulham beat Man United and then we're going to beat those pensioners indeed. Very happy for Potter. When you see the lineup, you must have thought we were going to go 2 or 3 down. Definitely Potter, you have to give him credit. And I think, to be honest, as I said, they came out of the traps really fast. And I was a bit worried, in all honesty, because they were coming out so quickly. I was thinking, that's it, we're going to really struggle today. But the boys fought for it. And when I thought, I thought they'd push Kudus more into the attacking front rather than necessarily Paqueta. But, fair play to him. I thought Paqueta had a fantastic job. And if you looked at his stats, I'm just doing the stats now as well. But he was top for everything on Sky Sports. First in terms of shots, passes, that type of thing. And that's what we want. That's the Lucas Paqueta we want. And I think one of the key things we've seen since Potter's come in is a resurgence Lucas Paqueta. And I'm all for that. That's what we need. That's what we want. Kilman, Cresswell, Soufal, solid. I was a bit surprised with that. We didn't necessarily get Wan-Bissaka, and I think Jamie Carragher made that point as well, as that right of the three. But I think the second half, particularly, Wan-Bissaka was I think as soon as Watson went off, and then Digne went to left in the centre half, and they brought on Matt Martin. I think that basically won that side of the pitch for us. Digne had an absolute mare, didn't he, after coming on or moving positions? So yes, I know. Paqueta brilliant, excellent. Alvarez brilliant. Paqueta was excellent. 2 strikers, 2 wingers. Great second half considering. I thought the intensity I saw from us. Do you know what? And I saw a lot of chasing down. Obviously, you can't do the high press all the time, but when you see it, when we do it effectively. Oh, are we back? I think we're back. Kind of. Scars had a great future indeed. Came on, did really well. Scars needs to start now. Well, Emerson got the goal. And I think he's going to keep Emmy going. They are also eager today. Just blew me away when compared to some of their performances. I totally agree. Good progression to losing it to a draw today. Wan-Bissaka was my man of the match. Cresswell Corners was spot on. For some reason, I feel so comfortable when Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Do you know what? He always, yes and no. For me, he always seems to be half a step away from losing the ball. But it just seems absolutely. Yeah, you're right. 15 million quid. He's probably the best spent 50 million quid for a long time. Considering we were told Aaron Wan-Bissaka was rubbish, did we buy his brother? Didn't think we could get anything from the game today, and the way the game started looked like the second half even we could win it. Good point. If James Ward-Prowse returns, you could have JWP passing to AWP, and if we'd bought what's his face from Southampton, we would have had what's his name? Walker Peters car. KWP passes to JWP. Yeah, exactly. How great was Scars' tackle? Great tackle. But how good was Kilman's tackle in the first half? Again, was it the first half? Superb tackle. It was a pen, no doubt. Would have taken a draw with both hands. Me too. Has Tim and his brother left West Ham? They're technically still employed by the club, but they are no longer in the vicinity of the club. That's what I've been informed. They they have no access to anything. They can't. It's like when you leave. You sort of go on gardening leave. They're on gardening leave type thing. When you can't access your emails and things like that. Much better than Palace. Well, I mean, it wasn't much worse to be honest than Palace. This is Lucas's. Let me bring up his stats. 58 touches, just under 80% pass completion rate. Lost the possession 19 times, but he was all over the place. And we're attacking right to left because we're the away side. He was all over the place, weren't he? Obviously, mainly contained in that opposition half, which is where you want him. But gotta tell you what, had a good game, had a really good game, and he's had 2 or 3 games like that under Potter already this year, and I'm taking that. What we got here? Paqueta up top working. Yeah, Mark. The trouble is, the thing that worries me is will they keep doing it? Because I really want a striker, I really want a forward, and the worst thing I want to do is paper over the cracks. Paqueta, yes, but sometimes you don't get a Paqueta game, do you? Sometimes Paqueta isn't on these game, and if that's all we got, then yeah, I still think we'll see some. Obviously, we've got just over a week. Obviously, the Chelsea game is the game which the transfer window closes. So again, we play when the transfer window closes, which I never understand. And I still think we're going to get 2 or 3 in. Personally, still the centre half, still need like a energetic midfielder. I'd say someone who could bring a bit of dynamism into that midfield, and we need a forward. We desperately need a forward because then you can play Paqueta as a false, and then you start with the other dude, whether it was a Robbie or Yassand or someone like that, and then you got Lucas doing what Lucas does best. Love a big guy. We all love a big guy. No idea. We literally passed and pressed. If finish with more win. If we get a centre forward, centre back with Bowen back, massive difference has changed our play so quickly. I wouldn't necessarily say he's changed. What I think he's done is he's just given the guys a bit of belief. Do you know what I mean? I mean, the chips were down. Again, we come to a situation when we haven't got, our top one of our top goal scorers, another one of our fantastic players, but we haven't got Antonio, we haven't got Fulkrug, we haven't got John Clare, we haven't got Mavropanos. Arguably, those 6 players could all go into the first team without a problem, and we're playing a lot better when we had our full strength under Lopetegui. And I think they seem to be enjoying football. We're led to believe that Jean Clare is happy. He doesn't want to go where he was happy to go under Lopetegui, but he's happy that Potter's in. So whether that transpires with him not going to Juventus, we'll wait and see. But I think that makes a massive difference. They seem to be playing a bit with a smile on the face. Yep, great indeed. I remember Yarmolenko's heat map. Indeed, mostly off the pitch. I'm going to see Iron Maiden on. Yeah, up the irons. Come on, give old Steve Harris a good old cheer. We'll get him on soon. I was dreading the game. Me too. But they fought and competed brilliantly, and that's what we want. Paqueta has the brain for any position and talent. And when he's got the bit between his teeth. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes it's not his game. But when he's on, I mean, I think it was a Newcastle game under Lopetegui, and definitely the last couple of games since Potter's come in, you've seen the old Lucas Paqueta. Well, you're starting to see the old Lucas Paqueta. And that's only a good thing for us. Only a good thing for us. And particularly also, he's banned as not he's banned, but his hearing's not going to be to the summer. So we've got him until the rest of the season at least. And I think that might have taken some weight off him. If it was that bad, they would take him off, wouldn't they? Rather than take off. Because they kept him on, didn't they? Took off Kudus. So if it was that bad, they would have taken him off straight away. What we got here? I was shouting to stop backing off. What do I know? His cross from Souček knocked down to Paqueta in that long ball inside. Indeed, Paqueta man of the match. Strange VAR didn't look at the one, the penalty, but they might have done already because what happens is not every VAR gets announced. They do background VAR checks, and I imagine there would have been a background VAR check on that, and told him to carry on. Because if there was anything which was untoward, they would have told the ref to stop the game or the next ball out, and review. So that's why. So proud of this fight of the team, yeah, and that's what we want, don't we? Everyone switch each other. The Paqueta redemption arc is here, and I'm all for it. Didn't know when I'll be back again. Indeed, leaving on a jet plane. No bad, thanks. Everyone's talking to each other. What else we got here? So yeah, I didn't put it up. I thought you meant Steve Harris, not Harrison. I don't know who Steve Harrison is. This is what we want, says the Riz Lord. It's not hard, is it? It ain't hard. Bit of fight, and we're reasonably happy with the game. In it, bit of fight, and we're reasonably happy. I think even if we ended up getting a last minute, they got the last minute win or something, the fight, the fans would have given it because the fight was there, and that's all we want as West Ham fans. Ryan's glad he woke up at 2:30 for that, and that's genuine. We worked hard, so he did. Takes you back. Oi, let's get you on. Potter working wonders with what he's got, and the fact is, but what you can see already, which I didn't see under the first 6 months of Lopetegui, was I can see a style of football. And we haven't got the right players in the right position, and he hasn't got all his players back. But I can see what he's trying to do. He's trying to keep it wide. He's trying to stretch the game. He's trying to, even Paqueta today, a few times, he got the flick-ons for the likes of Kudus to run onto. There is green shoots already, which we didn't, in honesty, apart from one game last year under Lopetegui, that's all we saw. So, it's all good. Happy with the point and the commitment. Irving wasn't out there long, but I honestly thought he looked all right. He's a good player. The old Pac-Man scars. This is how we play under Potter. For lack of options, imagine what it's going to be when they're back in the mix. That's what I'm trying to say, Ian. We're seeing this type of performance with basically half our squad out. I'm not just talking about Bowen. I'm not talking about just Cree, but you're thinking Antonio. You are thinking Fulkrug. You are thinking Todibo. What I thought was interesting is something I said, I think, in the starting 11 show was clearly we know that Areola is going to be Potter's number one because he's as soon as Areola's been back full fitness, he obviously started today. And apart from that one incident in the first half, you can see exactly why Potter wants Areola as his number one, because he almost acts in possession. He almost acts as like a centre half. Really, he's so far out, and I like to see things like that. I like to see different things. I like to see, there was a period I think in the first half where we had the ball, and the easy ball would have been just to lump it, but you could see them playing at the back and taking some risks slightly. But Villa didn't really press enough. I think if Villa pressed more, they would have probably got more joy out of it. But you can see what we're trying to do. You can see patterns of play. The fact is, I think he ain't picked the same 11 since he's joined yet because of injuries, suspensions, players coming back. So I think when it settles down, half a dozen games in or so, everyone's back, then we'll see. Wing beneath his feet. Lovely. We are growing, Design Disciple. Adam, I'm not going to be on for long, mate. I only just came on just to give my thoughts and get everyone's collective thoughts. I can't wait for a future of Pots and Scars once they reach their full potential, indeed. What was quite funny, obviously, because Jacob Ramsey scored and they all started singing Jacob Ramsey is one of our own. And you could hear him say, then when Ollie came on, Ollie Scars is one of our own. Deserve 3 points. Most cohesion. A team you've looked all season with Bone and Cree back. Things are beginning to look tasty. They are indeed. And that's what I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful for not just those coming back, but one or two bodies. We are, pretty much at the back. It's sort of our scraping in the back for, our players. But we do need reinforcements. We need players back from injury, and we need reinforcements. We do. I'd say a minimum of 2 players to come in before the end of next week is what we need. If it happens, is another thing. But that's, I think, 2, and even if the midfield, I'm actually happy. I'm not happy with it because I still think we need some energy. But even if we don't get a midfielder, as long as we get a centre half and forward. So someone Adam Webster, I spoke about him today. No, yesterday. From Brighton, 30 odd, perfect. Absolutely perfect for what we're looking for. Yes, he's 30, but he's not going to. We want someone who's going to come in. If we went and got like a first team centre half, I was talking to Robert about this yesterday. If we went out and got like a starting first start, then there's going to be conflict for two places. We want someone to come in who's going to a Craig Dawson type player. That's what we need. Moyes and Lobby have plan A. Potter has the alphabet. Potter's going to turn it round, and thus, why was he still on the side? We weren't going for one of our own. I don't know what happened there. We play as a team with fight and passion. Looks a cultured player, and for certain games he we used, I was impressed by when he came. I like Andy Irving. I think he's got what he has is he's got like a ball in him. He's a good player. He's very technically gifted, and I think considering he's same like Souček, I'd play him instead of Souček sometimes. We have a manager that has in-game play change, which is refreshing. I'm seeing the end of the season as a free hit and rehearsals for next season. I mean, it's the longest pre-season in the world, Ryan. It's to be honest. Jason's a great performance. Cottney Buccaneer, we had fight, deserved a win in the end, and obviously we play Chelsea next Monday. Why have we not bought a striker and a defender yet? Is pathetic. Well, I think Cockney. I think the trouble is we've clearly changed our recruitment policy and changed who's going to be buying players and who's going to be looking at players to buy. And I think there's been a bit of a pin put in some of those moves that we were looking at, and whether that's then reevaluated, I don't know. But with Carl coming in now, it's very different than it was beforehand. And I suppose we'll have to wait and see what happens, in all honesty. But yeah, I would expect some movement in the next couple of days. The only trouble is Paqueta played quite well up front, and that's what I didn't. Yeah, I wanted to happen, but I didn't want at the same time, to be honest, because it all goes like, okay, well, we don't need a striker because we've got Paqueta. We're one injury away from him not playing. That game's like a boxing match. Great analogy. I think Wan-Bissaka looked excellent tonight. The referee was horrendous. Villa should have gone into 10, and we should have had a penalty when Digne. No, I don't think that was enough because I think Paqueta was backing into him as well. Well done, West Ham. In Potter, we trust. We need Bobby now. Any news? Well, we were led to believe that Bobby was at Villa Park. According to a online source, he was there. So whether he was there just checking out a game, whether he was there, I don't know. And actually, the camera didn't spot it. We didn't say anything. So whether he was there's another thing. But that's what we were led to be believed. Potter chose us. We didn't choose him. So fair play to him. Love Paqueta during the step overs, and that back here was lovely. Lucas, man of the match for me. Starting to make us feel believe what a game. And again, Mike, it doesn't mean a lot. We don't need a lot to get the fan base on board. It really doesn't. To be honest, Potter, West Ham, get the fans onto you. Get sort of that togetherness. 101, play an academy player. That's what he's done. Give an academy player a debut. That's what he's done. Play with a bit of fight. That's what he's done. And we're all like, do you know what? Fair enough. You know what I mean? It's we don't ask the world as West Ham fans. We don't. We just want to see a team that fights, and we want to see a couple of our academy players play where we can, and some decent football. And there was a few flicks and tricks as well, mainly from Paqueta. Kudus frustrated me again. Just isn't the right player, is he, at the moment? And I think now, but now the shackles should be off a little bit. He's playing more centrally. He's not doing as much defensive duty, and that's something that Potter said. But I just wish sometimes he'd look up a little bit more often. We finally found some fight. Indeed, scars us to start from next weekend. Thoroughly enjoyed that game. Enjoy watching our West Ham. I don't think he will start. I think he'll be gradually brought in. I think next year you'll see him start. I think Emerson, I wouldn't be surprised if he's moved on in the summer. Sort of just goes back to Roma. But I think Emerson starts and then Ollie comes on. I think that for his progression, that makes most sense to me because players are a bit more tired. He's got a bit more freedom. But as and when, I ain't got a problem throwing him in, but I just think he'll start with Emerson. He made a really interesting point because obviously he didn't start with Caelan Casey today, and I think that was the right call. I thought it was totally the right call to not start with Kalen. Nowhere near enough what we need. And albeit with a makeshift back three, I thought, first half, particularly first 15 minutes, Sufal looked out of his depth. He was getting the run around. Crest was getting the run around. I thought Kilman did a really good job just trying to solidify things and be that last line of defence. And when he's got a couple of decent centre halves next to him, I reckon he's knocking on the door back in England. I really do. Or knocking on the door for England, not back for England. If Tyrone Mings can get in, Kilman can. 2 points ahead of Spurs. What a crazy season indeed. And above Man United as well. Edson, man of the match. His cross got the point indeed. Was a bit apart next to no Edmonds. Well, no Edmonds, big West Ham fan. Maybe Prince William was there. He's a massive Villa fan. We lose that game today. Interesting. But he's massively improved. He just needs to just calm down a little bit. Gets excited. He could have easily been sent off today. Before the one which then he got taken off, there was the one with John McGinn just before it. And I don't want to lose the combative side, but sometimes he needs to rein it in a bit. Same as Mav last week. He was already on yellow, and then to try and do a toe end over and end up kicking the bloke in the face. Not the cleverest. Find another coach that looks to be getting the best of the best. We've got a coach and staff which seem to enthuse the players. Seems to get the players smiling. Seems to get the players fighting for each other. I noticed the other day they did a little walk around the pitch pre-match, which they never did really under Lopetegui, but they did it under Moyes during his most successful bit, and that's nice to see. Afternoon, Budge, hope you're well, mate. Ian, you must be a bit more time and some patience, and we'll be okay. We will be fine. This team absolutely trusts Potter. They adjusted after that 10 minutes. Yeah, it seemed like they sort of had the 10 minutes of like craziness. And then they started to get hold of the ball. And then so we ended up 54% possession. First class second half. That Paqueta amazing. Isn't great having a talented Barca playing for us. Indeed. Lingard, Paqueta, Rashford, lovely. Potter should have been our head coach begin. Do you know what, Stu? I think for me, looking back at it in retrospect, highlight, and it's always easy looking back. Foresight's what was it? Not foresight. The other thing's a great thing. Hindsight's a great thing to have. With the club knew they had to have a massive rebuild. The club knew there was lots of players needed, and I genuinely believe that they wanted someone who was going to come in and do all right, not a long term. And I think they realised, he was only on a 2-year deal, and I think they sort of realised, give him the season, settle the squad down a bit, then bring in who we want. And maybe Potter was who they wanted. And maybe Potter didn't fancy it, because we knew he'd spoken to them beforehand. Maybe Potter didn't want it while there was this squad rebuild needing to be done, because he would have wanted. I don't know. We can only speculate. Right, 3 points out of Spurs. That last-ditch tackle broke so many Villa hearts. Useless referee, but well played, lads. Not afraid to get stuck in, indeed. Evening, Pete. Hope you're well. Sullivan signed a striker. Mings was a big loss for Villa. He was. Paqueta hold-up play today was amazing. Need a proper strike. We do. That's Ederson. He plays on the razor's edge, and that's why. Yeah, I know, but that's great to have. But sometimes you just know when needs to reel it in. If you're on a yellow, you've got to reel it in. Simple as. We have a bar steward back. Yeah. I mean, today's performance was a little bit Arnautovic-esque. There was lots of flicks and tricks. He used his body really well, I thought, today, which is something I haven't seen Paqueta do. He tends to fall around a lot as well. Didn't see much of that as well today. He was unlucky. A couple of shots went wide. Obviously, Ings' shot at the end, that went wide. Obviously, offside as well. It's, another day we could have won that game. And I think if we had another 3 or 4 minutes injury time, I think we probably would have won it. Next week is going to be a big week in the window. We need to wrap up business by Sunday night. We certainly do. Although Carl can still do bits. Although Carl and Nobes and stuff can probably do business on the Monday. But Carl's recruitment rather than necessarily. I don't know how that works. He said recruitment. Is he involved in negotiations? I don't know. Which striker should we go out and get? $1 million question, isn't it? For me, I think I'd prefer Evan Gesand from Nice than Brian Brobby. If you get Brian, I'll be fine. You know, he's not the Messiah. He's just a naughty boy. But for me, Evan Gesand just has a bit more about him, and he's in form. You know, Brobby's not in form, and that might not be a mistake. That might be partly him, but maybe, I mean, Ajax aren't playing well this year at all, and that's part of the reason. But if you've got a player already who's in form, you know, he's confident already. He can come in where someone like Brian, you might have to build his confidence back up. I don't know. One of them, someone under the age of 25. That's what I really want. Alvarez to get away with it, because we have a game. It doesn't stop us buying players. No, it doesn't. But unfortunately, that's what I want. That's what I want, Darren. But I believe he's off to what's name? He's off to AC Milan. But Santiago Jimenez is the guy who would be incredible for West Ham. But I think he's off to Milan now. Paquette is very evidently being managed by Hot Potter. Arm around, hopefully Reliance bring the best out of him. Yeah. That's what we need to do. Bottom second half was as entertaining. Couldn't take my eyes off it. Best game for Areola since the final. There was a couple of dodgy passes in the first half, but Cam Milan for it does look like it. It does look like, I think they're trying to move players out. And obviously they've got Kyle Walker in on loan. I don't think they care as much about over it there as they do over here about that. Probably a great, very unusual season with him out of form. It is, Alan. But the trouble is, sometimes if you're already out of form, you've got to find that form again. Whereas if you've got a striker who's playing decent this season, chances are I probably won't sell him in January, to be honest. But if they did, it might cost a bit more. But it's up and running already. Guess that being linked. I've only heard it once, so probably that's no. I mean, we have been linked with Evan from Nice. I mean, he's 23, I think, 6'2", 6'3". Something like that. But clinical and could make a real difference potentially. But we'll see. You never know. I mean, Spurs are sniffing around for him as well, so anything's possible. The new fella must have a dossier of Chelsea backups. Probably too late, sadly. I think the trouble is, I wonder if he's got a situation where he has a bit like Tim, where he basically hasn't had any access to stuff for the last couple of weeks. I don't know. Anyway, well, we should definitely. We do. As I said, I think we need at least two players in. I think we need a centre half, and I think we need a forward. Those are the two for me. I think they would, and with a returning Bowen, a returning Cree, a returning Todibo. They're going to be like new signings. That could be 5 new players in. There, you know what I mean. He stole the Chelsea laptop, but maybe they've changed the password. That's the trouble. What's his scarf collection like? Does he have a jet? No. And he's not. And I think it's worth saying he's not coming in as technical director. He is in as head of recruitment, and that is from Potter's mouth. He is not a Tim Steidem replacement. He's coming in as head of recruitment. Tim Steidem was technical director, so in essence, he should have been all over everything. What will be, and actually, when Carl was at Brighton with Potter, they had a sporting director who's still at Chelsea now, I think, and then they had Dan Ashworth ahead of him. So just because we've got him doesn't mean he's the next Tim Steidem. He's not. He's head of recruitment. That's his role, not technical director, head of recruitment. And alongside someone like, Carl will also have Maximilian Khan as well. He's staying, which is good. So he's one of the best as well in terms of stats and stuff like that. So yeah, it's good. Takes for 2 years with Sully bidding in 1 million increments. I am a head of recruitment, dossier full of bankers, pun intended. Won't be hard to identify Chelsea targets that buy every player under the age of 21. After Chelsea, we don't play against the 15th. Good time indeed. So if you buy people in, Mark, after the Chelsea game, they've got 2 weeks then. Plus, we've got people like Jean-Claire, those types of players as well to come back. Bromby settling, especially with Kudus and Alvarez connection with Ajax. Yeah, could do. We need to get in a negotiator now. We've lost Tim. Current negotiator, not good enough, says Michael. And on that bombshell, I'm going to go, peeps. There'll be plenty more to check about. I think probably, let's have a look. You got Gary, the Bobby Moore stand. He'll be doing something at 8 o'clock, and I imagine Nick will be doing stuff and various others. You can go and check them out and have a good old chat. I think we should go for Delap in the summer. Yeah, good shout. Good shout, particularly if they go down as well, which they're likely to. I think Ipswich are. Tomorrow we'll be back. All the rumours will start again. Another full week without a game. Obviously, we don't play till next Monday. So Potter will be happy. Because if you listen to his press conferences, he will say, we had a good week, we had a good week, we had a full week. We had a really good full week, really good full week, really good full week. And so he'll be happy that we've got a full week. But it also means that we got a full week to try and get some players in and try and get the likes of Bowen and Cree back in the side. I think Tolibo will be another week or two after the Chelsea game. But Mavropanos will be back in the side, I would imagine. Shame we haven't got a Gare. Do you know what I mean? It's like a Gare to be perfect in that side on that left. Annoying, isn't it? Need to sign a leader at the back. I think Max is a quiet leader. I think he's a. I like Max. I think he's not a ranter and raver, but I just think he does enough. I do like Max. Anyway, peeps, if you're new around here, don't forget to like, comment, share, all that good stuff. We'll be having some lovely interviews and things like that coming up as well. We've got Ludo McCloskey Appreciation Night coming up as well. Obviously, Ludo stopping his treatment, his cancer treatment, so we're doing a appreciation night for him. And then we've got some ex-player interviews lined up as well. Some fun ones as well. So looking forward to that. And until next time, my friends, don't forget to like, comment, share, and enjoy the rest of your Friday evening. It's Sunday evening. Sorry, it's back to work tomorrow. Innit? Fucking hell, God, hate it. And come on, you Irons. Another point, respect the point, and a great performance from Lucas Paqueta. Much love. Bye bye.